is a Your Black World TV exclusive. Welcome to On the Real. I'm your host, Tiara Williams. Here on The Real, we talk about real issues affecting the African American community and try to find real solutions through conversation. So, let's get this conversation started. Meet my real talkers.
Hey guys, Jovana Brush from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hey, I'm Shannon Mack from Bronx, New York.
Hi, Quentin Miles, Washington, D.C.
Of course, here on The Real, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ratchet. Which brings me to our segment, A Real Ratchet Rundown. Are y'all ready?
That's right.
All right. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the celebrities that we've been hearing in 2012 that have been going broke, from Evander Holyfield to Vince Young. These athletes and superstars that had $200 million who are now broke. Like, there's something ratchet about that. Like, you buying... Who are you buying stuff for? Like, what is happening? How are you broke?
I don't know if it's a combination of trying to impress. To get deeper, we do in the community. I don't think we have enough education when it comes to finances and how to allocate our money properly. I think it would be so appropriate if we had finance classes in high school.
Absolutely.
I think it's a need for it, a major need.
I don't even think that that's the problem.
No, what do you think is the problem?
Girl, what is that?
She's like, when you get the girl in the pause, you got a thought festering in there,
right.
Girl.
The problem is trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's all it is. They gotta impress. They gotta stay fly. Yeah. That's all it is. Because the next thing you know, you end up in the tabloids like, oh, look at this, look at that. You don't have this, you don't have that. So it's like you're trying to prove something. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, that's part of it, most definitely, but I don't think that's all of it.
Because I think a lot of these celebrities actually do have financial advisors that they do have in their corner. They're not the brain.
But that's the thing. But a lot of times with the financial advisors, bad things happen because they don't have the knowledge to check up on the financial advisors. They get ransacked all the time by financial advisors.
I heard a quote the other day from Kanye West. He said, I'd rather have 8 chains than go ignorant.
Right.
But, you know.
That's it. It's the consumerism, you know. That's almost some people's whole goal of wanting to make money so they can spend it.
Momentarily rich,
you know what I'm saying? Just like,
wealth.
get it out their hands instead of investing it and letting, letting that dollar work for you.
Right.
You know, you stay working for the dollar.
Right.
Man, so...
Hood rich.
You don't know about investing. I mean, like I said, education, knowledge. You don't know where that money's going. A lot of people in these situations who rose to superstardom, they came from very meager, living lifestyle. Right. So when you get all of this money at one time, and a lot of times a lump sum, it's gonna run out.
Right.
It's simple as that sounds. Right. You make money, it will run out.
Well, pause that, because that kind of goes into our discussion. So let's talk a little bit about Black spending power and our power here in America. I mean, we
got crazy spending power.
I mean, it's like 83%, and we're owning less than 2% of the businesses, according to Black Enterprise. We're owning less and we're spending more. So how can we help the Black community to understand that what you're spending, like you could start, like you said, you could start to live off of the money that you're working so hard for if you just didn't spend it so fast on things that don't matter. So how can we use this platform to educate people about what to do with their money and how important their dollar is?
It's like Jovana was talking about with the education. I think the biggest discrepancy you see is even when coming from a young age, just how money is regarded and talked about in the home. I work with, I grew up in a home where money and it just happened to be our story, not putting this on everyone else, but money was an issue and the lack thereof. It was an issue. So it was always a running after that. Always, we need this. How do we get it? It was never like we have everything And now when you get this dollar, let me show you how to make this dollar reproduce. And you know, I have affluent clients that I work with, and just to sit down with them and listen to them talk to their kids about money, you know, it's totally different. It's a whole different world. So as you matriculate through life, the mentality is different. Right. Where they're still consumers, but it's with a different focus. It's with a different mindset. Where one gets $500 and says, you know, I'm gonna go out and get this bag. Another one gets $500. It says, what can I do to make another $500 so I can get that bag, but still have $500 so that I can keep making more $500. Right. You know, keep making it multiply. Right. So it definitely goes with the education, but it goes with the education from a very young age, just in the home, changing the mindset.
Right. You got to break the cycle.
Yeah. Changing the mindset of how our children look at money, its uses. And what it's really for, you know?
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
Wow. That was good.
But here's the thing, though. I feel like if their parents don't know, because it's a cycle,
right?
You know, I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't file my taxes until I was maybe like 28 years old, and just simply because I didn't know, like I didn't know that there was like this. So here I am. You know, this age, and I'm like, I gotta file back taxes just because I just didn't know. Nobody was like, Tiara, okay, so this is how you run a bank account. This is what you do when you turn a certain age. You have a job. You file your taxes. You know,
small steps like that, we take that for granted, and then the ripple effect of it is $2 million later, $200 million later, you're broke.
Right.
That's the ramifications of it. You know what I mean? It starts from somewhere, and it starts from young. Like you said, the mindset. You know, if you don't know how to allocate your money or how to invest your money and to make that money grow, then you never will. I mean, I think a lot of times when you grow up in a situation where money is always an issue, when you get a little money, it's never the thought of holding on to it so I can make more money. It's like, now we finally have something. Now we can get something that we've always wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we don't have that mindset if we can keep growing this money and we can keep investing and making more of it. We just
have to change how you look at money. We need to stop looking at like, oh, money don't grow on trees, and stop looking at, you know, having money as something evil.
Right.
Yeah.
That's prevalent. Like black people always think that, oh, what's she doing to get that money? Right. How you getting that money? You know what I mean?
Negative,
you have to change the way you look at.
Well, let's take it further, because there's not a lot of, we still have a lot of spending power in our communities, but we don't use it. I saw something recently, and I think I've already said this before, but it just sticks in my head that back in the day, years ago when we had our Black Wall Streets, you know, money circulated in our community 37 to 100 times, keeping money in our communities for 2 years, up to 2 years. You know, now money stays in our community for 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
It's very believable.
That's crazy. When you think about it like that, it's crazy. I mean, really, guys, I mean,
I think about something as small as the nail shop or the hair store.
Absolutely.
The hair store. Listen, African American hair stores. Everyone who's shopping in there is African American. Everyone who is working in there is non-African American.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. Right. And I've done this, like, a little research on it, just about black hair companies in the black community. They have to charge a little bit more because
they don't have the hookup from the
Asians.
They don't have the Asians.
And they can't mass produce like the Asians because it has been bought out from the African American community in the 1970s. Yep. And because of that, we've never bought it back, and we're not feeding our community and recycling within our community, and we keep giving to other people, and so we have nothing to show for it.
And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just about to say, most other cultures patronize their own cultures first.
I was just about
but we don't do that for some odd reason. It just doesn't.
I was just about to say, our mentality is fragmented. We speak about ourselves as this community, but we don't believe ourselves to be a community.
Absolutely.
And so when the African American hair store is $5 for something, but you know the other hair store is $3 for something. I see, not thinking about money as a tool, you know, and this power that I have in my hand. I see the $2 savings as something for myself, instead of putting the $5 into the collective pot, the community, and then seeing it grow from there. It's because we see ourselves on this individual basis and don't realize that as a collective we can do much more. Absolutely. You know, because we do have this spending power. We spend what, $1 trillion a year.
It'll be a trillion. It'll be up to $1.1 trillion in 2015.
Almost $1 trillion a year
spent by us.
That is, we're 12% of the population, but we spend almost $1 trillion a year. That's crazy. And our ownership is crazy power.
Our ownership is less than 2%. But that's why, to be honest with you, and I don't have anything against Django, I didn't have anything against other movies, but that's why I preferred to go see Haunted House, made by the Wayans, shout out to Marlon, and all of them, instead of going and supporting Quentin Tarantino, who has money. You know, it's just like small things that I know I can do. I mean, not judging people that go. It's like you want to be entertained, whatever, but when I start to think about it.
Like opening weekend in terms of how those numbers will correlate.
Absolutely.
And how they'll help the community. But just a little bit to piggyback on a previous show when I was saying about the community, we have to sit down and figure out what we want for our community.
There's no focused effort towards anything. You got one person talking about, the spending power, then you got somebody else talking about, our voices aren't heard in the cities, then you have somebody else talking about, you know, the murder rate in the cities, and we're all talking about these fragmented things, we just need to come but we haven't just got together and said, all right guys, look, today we're going to put all our money together and we're going to get the guns off our streets.
Because we're all talking about the same thing.
Because we're all talking about the same thing, but not at the same time.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, I mentioned this on a previous show about the LGBT movement. Now, there's a lot of things that they can really, you know, fight for in terms of like same partner benefits and things like that on the job, and just how, you know, if they're with someone of the same sex and that person dies, just the rights that the person has that's left and all those types of things. But right now they're focused on marriage.
They're picking it out.
And they have put all their money into it.
Absolutely.
All of their money, all their lobbying power, and we're seeing the results of that.
Yeah.
So there has to be a time where, you know, we basically just squad up and say, look, man, we're going to put all our money behind this cause because we have the power.
Because there's power.
We do have the power, and our dollars should be circulating, you know, in our communities. I'm not the most pro
but now you're
guy and all of those types of things, but I still think that we should, you know, start to come together as a community and start to pull for the causes that matter to us and that everyone else seems to ignore.
That's a great point, but unfortunately, it's never going to happen.
I don't want to say never.
I wouldn't never say
not never.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's definite.
Yeah, but it's just such a blank. But it can.
It can.
That's what I'm saying. This is why we're here.
I definitely agree that it can and it should, but unfortunately, it's not.
Well, maybe if there's enough discussion about it. But you know what? It only takes one person to really create change. It really does. And it's one person, and it's going to create change for the person around you. Exactly. Domino effect.
I agree.
So let's start educating the youth. Education.
I agree. I'm not even disagreeing.
Well, hold on. I'm about to wrap this conversation up because I definitely we're over our time. But Shannon, I just want to hear why. Like,
It's so simple. Black people are spending too much time hating on each other. Too much time focusing on things they're not supposed to be focused on. Too concerned with what this person's doing, that person's doing. Instead of putting that all aside and coming together to find, you know, create some different stuff, you know?
That's the sense of community that we're all talking about. Again, so just like she just said, we all kind of want the same things, but we're not having the same conversation.
Yeah. No one is interested in education. Everybody is interested in entertainment.
Education, I will say, across the board is very secondary.
Absolutely.
Here in America.
I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I know, because we could go on. But thank you guys for joining me. And guys, I mean, basically we're saying that we just have to do better, and we have to stick together, and we have to patronize each other's businesses and all of that. And you supporting our show is a way of supporting us. So we thank you. This has been On The Real, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Tiara. If you like the programming that you've seen today, go support us on GoFundMe.com. We're at www.gofundme.com/A Real Righteous Startup. That's A Real Righteous Startup. REEL Righteous Startup. And we'll see you there. Thank you so much in advance. Bye.